We are on top of the mountain and it is snowing. Holy cow. And that right there, folks, is where I slid coming back down the mountain. This is the Crockett home right here.
I don't know if I would do that if I were you. That's all we need is for you to fall and get stuck.
Okay. Change my mind. So we are down here checking out the actual homestead of David Crockett here at the David Crockett Birthplace State Park. So there's two distinctive parks here. This park is the actual state park, and then we are in the state park campground, which is just beside it basically. But there are two gates. And this is apparently where David Crockett and his family lived when he was born. And we're going to check out all the museum pieces out here. What was you saying, Allie? You don't really know a lot about David Crockett?
Yeah, I really don't. I just know he's the king of the wild frontier.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
You would think that I would know about him being a teacher, but we just don't teach about Davy Crockett.
Yeah,
So,
it's a shame. And this here stone, it looks like you can see there's an A and a V, so it does say David Crockett. But I can't make out what everything else is. On March something or other.
looks like 1516.
Yeah, but that was before he was born. He was in the 1800s.
But it looks like a 5 there
Yeah.
for 1536 or something. I don't know.
Can you imagine growing up right here with this river? I would imagine their family probably did a lot of fishing right here on this river. Not a bad little place to grow up, I would say. I'm not sure what this is, but they must have kept some sort of livestock or animals in here. Maybe chickens? Chicken coop, maybe? I don't know. Probably not chickens because there's a water trough here.
Yeah.
Maybe goats or cows? I don't know.
Donkey?
Huh. Wow. Pretty neat. I'm going to assume that these aren't the originals.
I don't think they are, because you can tell that wood looks pretty new.
I mean...
But they were making it seem like the way it would have been, you know?
Yeah. And over here, it looks like this would be their house. So they didn't have any of the pamphlets up there. They were out of them. That probably explained what all these things are. But I am curious to what this is. If you guys know what this would be for, leave it down in the comment section below, because I have never seen anything like this. I don't know if animals would have been in here or what, or if that was for drying out. I mean, it looks like stalks in there. I don't know if that's for drying out stuff.
Huh. It does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. They actually have a
little garden over here.
Yep, they got where they probably would have planted vegetables and whatnot to survive on. Look how those are stacked up on those blocks down there. This is the Crockett home right here. J. Crockett, so his dad must have started with a J. Yeah, that's an old wheelbarrow.
What's this over here, a garden?
This is a garden.
All the gourds.
Have a couple donkeys out here. That looks like some fresh food. Is it good? Is it good?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, they're friendly. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
You smell Nikki? Hi. Hi. You scared me.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, Nikki just... Oh.
Nikki's like, I'm a little scared.
Oh my goodness. It's smelling Nikki's paw.
Aww.
Aww. That's sweet.
You making friends?
Oh my
You
gosh.
making friends?
Nikki, what do you think?
There's a couple, looks like graves here, unmarked. I don't know if these are just replicas of how a grave would have looked back then, probably. I find it hard to believe they'd leave potential real graves here to be vandalized. It's very interesting here though. If you love history, as we do, it's very interesting to see how pioneer life was basically lived. I question who's better off. Are we better off now with our technology or were they better off back then? So not quite sure what this is, but it looks like some sort of camp, right?
Yeah.
So they had a big fire pit here. Would probably hang pots and pans over the fire to cook.
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine sleeping in the cold out here just under one of these lean-tos?
Oh my gosh.
Whew.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
They slept.
People were much tougher back then than
Could
we
you
are
imagine?
nowadays. What do you think of your new home there, Allie?
If I just pretended to be here, like thinking back on all those years ago, I don't think I could handle it. I don't think I could.
There's no way you would be able to handle it.
Nikki, you'd have to be up on top of me, keeping me warm.
I give you 2 minutes, people, before she says, okay, I'm ready to go back to the truck because I'm cold. So apparently, this is my river right here.
It's called the what?
I think it's Allichuck,
Yeah.
but it's got the word Chucky in it. And when we were coming in last night, we were driving down Chucky, was it Boulevard or?
Chucky Road.
Chucky Road.
Something.
It was named Chucky anyway. So this is my place right here. As we're standing here, I'm looking at this rock right here and the water running over this rock. How many thousands and thousands of years do you think water has been running over this rock, smoothing this rock out?
Oh, wow.
When you think about it. You know what? Somebody might have thrown that rock in there last week for all I know. So when we were trying to figure out what we were going to do and where we were going to go for spring break this year, it was kind of up in the air with the issues with our slide out and not being working in an alley, not really wanting to camp with our slide broken and, taking a long trip like we normally do. But, kind of last minute we decided, what the heck, let's just go ahead and camp and we'll just deal with the slide like we have been.
Wow. They actually have Wi-Fi here at the campground, and it's pretty decent. We're actually able to watch TV.
And Netflix. And YouTube.
Wagners.
And the Wagners and Piper. I don't know if we've ever stayed at a state park before that has Wi-Fi.
I know.
And good Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the town of Limestone again.
This is definitely a ghost town.
Yeah. And yeah, that building up here we saw last night on the right is actually a old train station, you can tell. Train
Antiques
depot.
and stuff.
That's open. That place is open right now.
Wow.
The antiques and stuff is open. Train tracks, Nikki. Jump. Jump.
So we ended up eating lunch at Johnson City there was a place called White Duck Tacos, and
Best tacos I've ever had. And I'm not even joking.
and they have a brewery right next door called Yeehaw Beers, and it was good. I had a blonde ale. Chuck, you had a...
I had a German style. Yeah. So we have decided to just try to follow what we've seen in the mountains with some snow, and we're just driving random roads with no GPS.
And we're seeing snow.
And it's starting to spit snow. We didn't get to see snow for Christmas, but we're seeing snow in spring. This is awesome. And it's not a ton of snow yet, but hey, it's snow.
It is beautiful.
And we're climbing. We are on top of the mountain, and it is snowing. Holy cow. And that right there, folks, is where I slid coming back down the mountain. Doesn't look steep here. It's steep, and it's muddy. Man, this is beautiful. Who would have thought spring break, March, middle of March, you might say, that we're going to be seeing snow, and we see none of this at Christmas. Not even on the top of Mount Mitchell did we see snow. So we decided to drive up to Rowan Knob, right? This is Rowan Knob?
Rowan Knob.
Yeah. And this drive has been absolutely gorgeous. Nikki's loving it. She's getting to go slow and hang out. And it's a winter wonderland.
It is.
And it's spring. So Tuesday morning, we decided to take a little trip into the town of Greenville, which is probably the closest major town to Limestone and the David Crockett Birthplace State Park. And it was the hometown of Andrew Johnson.
He was not born in Greenville. He was actually born in North Carolina, but as a child growing up, he did grow up in Greenville.
Yeah, and they had a replica of his home in North Carolina where he was born,
Right.
there in the downtown area, along with his actual home that he lived in, minus the time he was president.
Yep.
And they also have a national cemetery there, which we went up and checked out and
Where he
seen
was-
his grave.
Where he was buried.
Yeah. We are at Andrew Johnson National Cemetery here in Greenville, Tennessee. Didn't realize this is where our 17th president lived and is buried.
Yeah. And so he walked up here and he stood up and looked out and said, "This is where I want to be buried." And so he plotted, or so he purchased 15 acres plot for his family.
It is quite the view up here. Allie was a little scared driving up this little road, as that's the road we come up, and it kind of comes up and circles around. There are several grave markers up here. So is this all his family, I wonder?
Yeah, I guess so.
So he had a son who died at the age of 26.
Six.
What year did he die? March 7th. Does that say March 2nd, 79? So he died like 4 years after his dad. So this is actually part of the National Park Service. I'll tell you what, this does not feel like March weather, people. Not where we're from, anyway.
Holy cow.
Well, that was a nice little find here. Again, just goes to show we didn't really know what we were going to see and do while we were up here, being kind of a last-minute planned trip, and we're enjoying this trip immensely.
Definitely have to check out Greenville because it's a cute little town. Stores and restaurants and different places, and they're actually doing a lot of remodeling and upgrading in the town. So you can tell that they're giving it a lot of love.
And it's that old type of town that we love so much, the old downtown, streets, square, whatever you want to call it. But definitely historic, Well, we had to break down and buy a fire pit, as this campground doesn't have them at the campsites. We had one once before. It's so cold I can't even talk. Are you cold, Allie?
Yes.
Ooh, it is cold this morning. We got frost. Wow. Yes, we got some frost on the truck too. Wow, it is 19 degrees this morning. I think it's a good thing we went and got propane yesterday I should say, and we had to run the heater pretty much all night. So it's too cold this morning for me to cook bacon and stuff outside. This guy's gonna just take the lazy route and microwave it this morning. And then our plan is we're gonna head to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and Cades Cove. That's what's on tap for today's agenda. This is our last day here in Tennessee at David Crockett Birthplace State Park, and Allie wanted to go to Cades Cove, so I was like, let's do it. It's a couple hours from here, but while we're here, let's go back and see it again. It's been like 8 years since we'd been there.
So we got up early this morning, got around, and packed some provisions and took off on our journey to Cades Cove today.
So we have actually just entered into Cades Cove, and here's the Cades Cove campground right over here.
Turn left onto Cades Cove Loop Road, then the destination is on your right.
Unfortunately, we didn't see any bear, but we did see some deer far away and horses.
Yeah.
But it was really a beautiful day. The weather was perfect.
And if you've never seen Cades Cove, Cades Cove is just one of those things that even not seeing the black bear like we hope to see, it's still just an amazing 11-mile, loop drive with some side roads that you can take to, which we did this time, which we'd never done before. And it's all free, All they ask for is a $1 donation for a driving tour map.
And they have the little booklet provides all the historical information, a lot of different buildings that you can stop at along the way, and talks about the families that moved into that area in the 1800s. And it's pretty interesting information that they tell you about it. But the buildings, they've really taken good care of to maintain them. You can tell that they've done some updating, trying to keep it together. But
yeah, they have
really neat area, like the mill area. They have like the blacksmith building set up. They have the grist mill,
some barns, and just old stuff there. And there was one house there at the visitor center that we learned that the lady who lived there also had a general store there, which was kind of cool.
They have a couple different churches there, and it's really neat to go inside the church and see what it was like all those years ago.
Churches and graveyards.
Little chapels.
Yeah.
Right, and even to this day, people are still being buried in that cemetery.
Looked at the cemetery, 8 years ago when we were here, and they were pretty much mostly older grave sites with maybe a handful that maybe were around the 2006, 2007 era. But this time we saw a gentleman who apparently was about 50 years old buried there. He died in 2021, so very recently. If you're ever in the area and you see Cades Cove on the map, it's a really neat little thing to do. So treat yourself.
And you got Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and Townsend, all three little towns all around that area. So it's a perfect little area for touristy types of things to do with families, but also if you want to go out in nature too, it's the perfect little getaway.
Yeah, we thought about exploring Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg again this time, but it's very touristy. It's very it seems to me like Pigeon Forge especially is geared towards family and that kind of thing. So we like nature for the most part, nature and history.
Right. So we had a really good day, and we are now heading back to the RV to meet up with our friend Craig again for dinner and hanging out a little bit. And then tomorrow morning we're getting up to take that long haul back to Florida.
We will have to get started early in the morning.
Yes.
But it's been a great spring break trip, and we, as we were saying earlier, this was kind of totally unexpected how much we've enjoyed this area. I mean, it was just, we basically just kind of threw a dart at the map and was like, somewhere in Tennessee, okay, that has availability, let's go. Didn't think too much about it, wasn't all that excited. You know, I mean, we're excited always to go camping, but we weren't like excited like, oh, we're going to the Grand Canyon, or oh, we're going to Stone Mountain. It was just like, we're going to a state park.
Yeah, we were looking forward to getting away, but
didn't have great expectations of loving this area as much as we've loved this area.
And I've fallen in love with this area.
Oh yeah.
It is just absolutely beautiful. You know, we love North Georgia, we love North Carolina, but I really think that we have found definitely a new area that we want to start coming to more often, because it's just this little, I would say, northeast Tennessee is amazing. Oh, lovely Atlanta traffic.
Stuffed animals.
Wow.
Oh,
There's several stuffed animals. Oh man, look at them all. Good grief. Never know what you're going to see on the freeway.